Hey everyone, hoping you're having a great day. This is Kathy here. Thought I'd show you what I've been working on today. Noticed I've been using a lot of birthday cards lately, so I thought I better replenish my stock. I thought I'd use this fun stamp. It's by Hero Arts. I think it's so cute with a little stack of presents, and this is the image that I ended up stamping. And I thought I'd show you how I did that and how I'm going to put it on a card. This is a card I don't actually have put together, so hopefully as we wing it, it'll work out all right. I do kind of have a little bit of an idea of what I want to do, so let's go ahead and get started. So first of all, what I did was I used some of the Ranger stamping paper, and there's two ways that you can buy this. Well, actually there's more than two ways, but let me show you the two that I have. You can buy these little artist trading cards, and these are 2.5 by 3.5, I believe. And this is specialty stamping paper, and it's made by Ranger. It's a Ranger product. In fact, Tim Holtz just showcased this at this last CHA, but it's been out since like 2011, so it's been out for a little while, but it's great for stamping. And I also buy it in the 8.5 by 11 size, and I just stick my scraps back inside the bag so that I know exactly, you know, where my paper is all the time. So that's what I'm using today to stamp on. So let me just grab a piece, and we'll go ahead and ink up the stamp. And to do that, I'm using the Memento Tuxedo Black. And I'm going to ink this upside down as it's kind of a big image. Okay. And then we'll just center this. And there's our stamped image. Now I do see that there's a little bit of a black mark right here, and I'm not going to worry about that as I'm using this as a demonstration. But otherwise I'd just stamp it again. It looks like my stamp might have had a little bit of ink where I didn't want it to be, or on my fingers. I don't know. You need to keep your fingers clean when you're stamping, but I'm not going to stress about that. In fact, let me tighten my shot up just a little bit so you can see a little bit closer what I did here. So to put this together, what I went ahead and did was grab my Echo Park Happy Days pack. And there's a lot of fun prints in this one, but this is where all of my pattern paper is coming from, except for the one paper that we're going to color ourselves today. So after I stamped my my image, I went ahead and set that aside, and I wanted to have this purple layer. I wanted that to kind of jump out. So to make my own purple layer, I grabbed another piece of my stamping cardstock, pulled out my Tim Holtz mat here, and I also grabbed some of this Dusty Concord Distress ink and a little inking tool. And I'm just going to go one direction. No rubbing required to do this one. It's very simple. I'm just going to go straight across, grabbing lots of ink. No special technique required, just lots of ink. And it's going to look kind of dark right now, but when it dries it'll be just a little bit lighter. The great thing about this mat is if you get the ink that you get on it will just wipe right off with a damp cloth. The one thing you do want to watch is fingerprints, which actually can be kind of cool if you want it to be on there. But that's the basic idea. Whoops. And then when it dries, like I said, it will look a little shade lighter, and this is the one that's already dry. Hopefully you can see that. I'm getting a lot of light from outside, but hopefully something's coming across here. Anyhow, so this is my finished piece, and this is the one that I've just inked. Go ahead and close out my ink. And then I did another little piece with the same technique to be able to do the present. And so rather than do another one for you, I'm just going to use this one and show you what I did. All I did was grab my stamp again and just ink towards the bottom because I just want that present, right? So I'll just stamp that part. And then I went ahead and just cut the little present out. And after I cut the little present out, I ended up with a piece like this. And because I wanted it to be a little bit thicker, I just grabbed the Tim Holtz Distress marker. This is what Black Soot, and used the fine detail side to go around the bow and also to fill in the ribbon. So we'll set that aside. And I'm getting ink everywhere. Bad habit of mine not to clean my fingers as I go, but anyhow, so this is just an example to show you how I got to this point. So once we've got this piece, this can actually be glued right on, and I'm just going to grab some quick dry to do that. And then for this, where it says happy birthday, I went ahead and stamped on, I had this other piece of paper in the same Happy Day stack that I liked, and I went ahead and stamped the happy birthday section of the stamp, so just this top part, and then went ahead and cut that out. But before I glue that on, as I'm going to add a little turquoise into my stamp, I'm going to grab this tumbled glass. I also have a little finger dauber. This one happens to be by Stampin' Up, but they sell these in the store, so you can get them if you don't have Stampin' Up. And I'm just going to ink around the edges just to make this pop out a little bit more and to pull in the turquoise that I'm going to put in the rest of my card. Oh, and while I've got that out, actually, I'm going to use this as a layering weight in my card. I've started to ink around it already, but we'll just go ahead and finish inking around the rest of it so everything ties in all nice and matching. Okay. And now that I've done that, I can go ahead and glue our little happy birthday on. Some more quick dry. Paper piecing is so much fun, and it adds just such a neat little texture to our stamped image. Okay, and again, don't worry about the ink. Technically, I'll be cutting this out, even though I'm not going to today, since you can see I've already done one. But next, to finish my image off, I grabbed a Dusty Concord Tim Holtz marker, the Distress marker. Went ahead and colored in the bow. And I did the bow, and I did these little flowers down here. All of them. And I also did 2 stripes. Here, let me pull this up closer so you can see. I did a couple of purple stripes, and then I also grabbed the tumbled glass Tim Holtz marker and went ahead and did a couple of stripes in that as well. So I'm pulling in all of my colors. And I also used the tumbled glass on the little spots on the candle. Oops, I think I was in the way, but just so you can see what I did so I don't have to do the entire image for you. And once I got to that point, which you've already seen me paper piece and kind of know what I did with the coloring, then I went ahead and grabbed some stickles, and I just used Stardust to kind of frost this piece right here that I thought looked kind of like a cake. And if you put it on kind of thick, it looks like frosting, which is kind of cute. I'm not sure how well you can see the sparklies, but they're there. And I went ahead and went around the flowers as well, and in the bow. And then when I did the little candle up here, I used 2 other Tim Holtz markers. I used, first I used mustard seed for the entire part of the candle, and then just on the left side, I used the spiced marmalade. And then when I was finished with that, I grabbed a yellow stickles, which if you don't have the yellow stickles, the clear or the Stardust will work just as fine. I just wanted to really make that look like flame. And then one other thing I did on the purple part, the present, is I grabbed some enamel accents, and this is black. You could also use clear, but I really wanted mine to be dark, so I just outlined the present and the flower and a couple of the dots, not all of them. And so that's basically how I got my stamped image to look like this. So I went from kind of like this to this. Now that we have that part finished, let's go ahead and put our card together, and hopefully this will work, as I'm just kind of going with what's in my brain, but I'll put the measurements down below as I go. So my first 2 layers was the purple that we just inked, which is going to go on top of this black. So let me just grab my ATG gun and we'll put those together. In fact, I'm going to widen my shot just a hair here. Hopefully you can still see. Hope everybody's enjoying their weekend. Been a little under the weather today, but it feels nice to just relax and not do a whole lot. And you know what I just did? I did this on top of my mat, and there was still ink on it. So I got a little bit of black on my paper, but thank goodness that's not going to matter because there's another layer going over the top of it, but something to be aware of. And I think I've said this before, learn from my mistakes and do better than me. So we'll go ahead and line up our piece here. There we go. First 2 layers. And then what I thought I'd do is, in the same Happy Days stack, I grabbed some of this turquoise, and I took a Martha Stewart beaded arch punch and went ahead and, when you're punching a larger piece, make sure you punch in the center first and then work the edges. And I ended up also using some detail scissors to kind of trim just a little bit to make sure that it fit the way that I wanted it to fit. And this piece is going to go underneath here. We'll go ahead and attach that together. There we go. And then I'm going to do a note card size card. So this is a piece of 8.5 by 5.5 cardstock. And we'll just go ahead and fold that. Got a bone folder I'm going to use to kind of smooth the edges out. There we go. And then on top of this is where I'm going to use that piece of the pattern paper with the words on it that matches our little happy birthday up here at the top, because we're trying to tie everything in together, right? So let's go ahead and attach this one since nothing else is going to go underneath that. Oops, I think I got that straight. Okay, so I like that. And I was thinking of just putting this right on top, but I feel like everything just kind of blended in together. And so I actually wanted to add some turquoise. So I went ahead and grabbed another piece of that pattern paper to put this on top of. And as I'm looking at that, I also feel like it still doesn't have enough contrast. And so to add more contrast, I'm going to grab some black to add to it. And look how much that just kind of will make everything just jump out more. And I also went ahead and embossed Celebrate down here, and I'll show you how I did that. So I just grabbed a piece of black paper. We'll need some Versamark. This is a watermark stamp pad, and this is great for embossing. And I'm also going to use some embossing powder. This one happens to be by Recollections, which is the Michael Store brand. And this is called, I think it's Snow. Can't remember where the name of it is, but I believe it's called, yeah, there it is. It's called Snow. And so to do this, you'll need a heat gun. And we'll go ahead and grab our stamp. And my stamp for this sentiment for Celebrate comes from this Penny Black stamp set. And it's called Sweet Wishes. And it's so adorable. I love that little pendant. Isn't that cute? Can't wait to use it. But anyhow, so I'm using the Celebrate. So I'm going to grab my Fiskars stamp pad here and ink that up with some Versamark. Go ahead and press that on. Probably can't see that on camera, but it's there. And then I'm going to grab a piece of a white card here just to hold my embossing powder on so it doesn't go everywhere. And it also makes it a little easier to get it back in the case. So I'm just going to be generous with it. And you're going to hear a noise here. I'm going to pull to the side here and just flick off the excess. Hopefully I get it all. And so that's what it looks like before you actually go to emboss it. And then I'm going to use my card here to empty the rest of my embossing powder back into my little jar here. Okay, and I'll set that aside. And then you don't have to do this, but I prefer to not have burnt fingers, so I have a little clip here that I clip my image with when I go to emboss. And this will just take a quick second here to heat it up, and you'll notice it starts to change. When it starts to get shiny, you know you're done, and I'm going to flip that over just a second. Here we go. And our image starts to get shiny, and we know that it's done. There we go. And we'll go ahead and set this one aside to cool, as we've already done one, which was my piece down here, which I've already finished. So let's go ahead and finish putting our card together. Now, as I was thinking about this, I kind of felt like it needed more of a border. I was starting to lay it out, and I went, okay, I know I like that. And I kind of want that to go into the purple because then I can take the top piece that had the scallop and have that kind of come up to the top here, or you can even pull it all the way up, just kind of playing with it. But I think I like it just like that, even. Just about like that. And then this is going to go here, but I kind of felt like everything was so uniform, and so I was thinking I'd grab some of this fun paper and maybe stick it in here, maybe this direction, and then we'll stick back our pieces. So we're kind of just deciding our layout here. That feels kind of uniform to me. I'm wondering if it would look cuter if we maybe just angle that just a little bit. Yeah, I like that. So we'll kind of do it at an angle. Kind of just puts things off kilter just a hair so everything's not so perfect. When it's aligned too perfectly, it just doesn't really turn out really cute. All right, I think I know what I want to do here. So let's put this puppy together. So I'm going to grab a Sharpie marker and a ruler and go ahead and do a quick little edging, small little line for my border here. And I'm just kind of eyeballing this. Hopefully it looks okay when I'm done here. Just feel like this will kind of clean things up a little bit, and then my border won't be quite so white. Okay. Yeah, I like that. Cute. All right, so let's go ahead and get this thing down. Just be brave, Kathy, be brave. Normally I do my cards ahead of time so I know it's going to happen. So it's a little more scary when I just wing it. But sometimes they make the cutest cards when you just go with it, right? Okay, so let's center this right about there, like that. We can go ahead and put these two pieces together since I know how I want those to go. The tricky part's going to be getting that diagonal piece down, I think. Okay, so there's that piece, which we know is going to go there. Okay, so kind of thinking right about there. It's tiny off kilter. Let's go ahead and put some adhesive on the back of this. Love that stripe, isn't that cute too? They're both so cute. Get enough adhesive on here, just the whole thing will stick right. Right about there, that's what I want. And we'll trim off the excess in just a second. Let's go ahead and stick down this piece. So it takes a little bit longer to watch it this way, but then you can kind of see what's going through my brain as I'm putting things together here for you. There we go. And we're going to flip this over and trim off our excess. A pair of scissors. I'm going to use my Tim Holtz so that the sticky stuff doesn't stick to my card. I mean my scissors, sorry. One. There we go. Cute, I like that. And then we'll stick on this little piece. And this is an Action Wobbler. Let me try and show you what it looks like. Actually, I don't think I have an extra one sitting here. But it's just a little round mechanism with a piece of plastic in the inside that looks like a coil. And it makes our little object move. And you can buy them singly on some websites, and you can also buy them in a large package. So it just depends on where you purchase them from. Okay. Stick that on. Cute. And I feel like it still just needs a little bit more. So I have these cute little, I think they're called diamond clusters. And I just picked these up at Ben Franklin. I'm looking for the original package, which I think might have fallen. Oh, there it is. And they come in lots of different colors. So this is what they look like. And there's no special packaging. So so I don't know if that helps you, but they're called diamond clusters from Benjamin Franklin. And they have little pop-ups already on the back of them. So we'll just peel away. And that is our card for today. So happy birthday with the cute little wobble. Happy birthday, celebrate. So thanks for watching, and if you have any questions or want to leave a comment or a post, that would be wonderful. Have a great day. Thanks. Bye.